Hello. Today's installation is at the Fireman's Park in Chaska, Minnesota. It's a park curling center, and it's also adjacent to Veterans Park, which is a memorial for the veterans of the various American wars, different branches of the military. So, a lot of the locals will come here and walk their kids and whatnot. Another one of my mobile mantra offices, which I love. I love. And I also love that not everyone wants to do this sort of thing. They're so wrapped up in Maya, wrapped up in the illusion of this world, in name and fame and gain. And I got to do this and I got to do that. And I got to get money, 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 work, 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 money, 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 sex, 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 dating, 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 money, 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 friends, 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 on and on and on. The things that we do. Try to be a little creative about that. Of course, sometimes, you'll hear these things in the scriptures about ways that we should act if we want to achieve self-realization and enlightenment. If we want to become one with God, then there are some really basic prescriptions that nobody in the modern world follows. I mean, maybe a few. I attempt to follow them, but to be perfectly honest, I don't do it perfectly. And that's the power of Maya. That's the power of Maya. That's the power of the apparent reality, which is actually an illusion, and the real reality remains invisible to us. What a paradox. At least that's what's said. So today so let me just kind of give you a gist of what I'm doing today. So I try to, usually every day I'll bring a spiritual book with me. In fact, I'm having trouble reading normal books, normal fiction and whatnot. Even nonfiction is boring to me. Anything to do about God and yoga, spirituality is very interesting to me. And I remember when I first started this quest, it was very hard. It's like, and I even was doing that today. I was praying to God as I was walking, and I just realized how hard it is. It's really easy to approach a teacher or a saint, somebody who's established and supposedly they're the medium to God for man. So they in woman, they can communicate to God for you, relay messages, right? But that's not what's said. Everybody can do this. It's just we have things inside us that sometimes I think prevent us from really getting into that. So all the time I try to get over that, and this is why the guru exists. I always approach my guru first, and then I pray to God, more or less. Let's not say I'm perfect about it, but that's my general approach, and there's a reason for it. However, as time goes on and I become more and more devoted, for lack of a better word, I don't feel so distant from that. I don't feel like I'm unworthy. There's all these weird, I don't know what each person goes through, but that's my thing, is like I feel embarrassed maybe, or unworthy, because in Kali Yuga, which is the supposed time that we live in right now, depending on what tradition you consult, but this is the age of darkness. This is the age of ignorance, most definitely. Yeah, people have money and this and that, but take a good look around you. If you go about your daily life wherever you live, and you really look at it with a crucial and critical eye, I don't know if crucial is the right word, with a critical eye as in, what am I really looking at? What depth is there in this? And I have found over time, not a lot of depth. And even the things that people project, these personalities and how great they are, but the nitty gritty truth is that if you compare it to something like self-realization or union with God realization, whatever the word is, that state of consciousness, that state of mind, that state of being, there's no comparison. You cannot compare it to all these worldly things. So anyways, I will kind of get to the point, and this is in a long series of what I call mantra demos, but they're not really demos. I mean, there's the demo, the part I'll give a mantra that's already existed or one that I've come up with, Lord, forgive me for inventing mantras, right? This is a big moment of conjecture, but you know what? I have experience and I'm just going to do it. And if you pray to God sincerely, in Bhakti Yoga, God forgives all faults. Mispronunciation of mantra, ritual. It's said that in Kali Yuga that chanting the divine name is the most efficacious way of obtaining or reaching the Lord. It is not through rituals. It is not through austerities. It's not tapas. It's not through external rituals. It's not through kundalini practices. Sure, we can do all those things. I encourage it. I dabble. But most of my focus goes on the devotion aspect. Because the more and more I read, especially from my teacher who was a great bhakti yogi, I mean, it's you can make up a lot of reasons why, but you can go this way and you can go that way. Sure. However, when they say these things over and over again, not when I say they, I mean the great masters of the different Himalayan traditions, the great masters of yoga. They, over and over and over, different resources, different books, different teachers, over and over, I keep hearing this repeating theme. Chant the name of God. The name of God is the way to cross the sea of samsara, the ocean of suffering, the ocean of cyclical existence, the ocean of karma, birth and rebirth. To cross that ocean, to get to the other side, Michael, row your boat ashore. To come to that other shore is to chant God's name, to read stories of God, to believe in God, to talk about the saints. And not just the saints of the yoga tradition, the saints of the Catholic tradition. Wherever there's been a saint, whatever or whoever she is or he is, whatever he or she has done, how they approached God, then we can imbibe their meaning through that. So, with that said, reading from a book today called The Saints of India by Sadguru Sant Keshavadas, the prophet of divine love and universal peace. His name means saint who is the servant of the Lord, and Keshavadas is a form of Lord Krishna. So more specifically, his name was meaning a servant of the Lord Sri Krishna. Shri Krishna. Anyways, there's a lot of stories in here that are really good. I don't know how I got off track here. But my intention was to, and is to, impart the Taraka Mantra. The Taraka Mantra is Om Shri Rama Jaya Rama Jaya Jaya Rama. It's also heard as Om Shri Rama Jaya Rama Jaya Jaya Ram. I don't think that Rama, the Lord, Krishna, Vishnu, Keshava, I don't believe the Lord is going to get upset with you if you say it either. If you end the mantra with Ram, Ram, or Rama, Rama, the meter or the tone, the melody that I've heard my teacher on recordings, Keshavadas, was Om Shri Rama Jaya Rama Jaya Jaya Rama. Now, the Lord may forgive mispronunciation. It's still good to try. It's still good to try to get it correct. And I don't think, unless you speak perfect Sanskrit and Hindi, then the chance of mispronunciation is high. However, if done with devotion, you'll be just fine. I don't believe that you're going to get in trouble or that you're going to get a major curse or anything for chanting it incorrectly. So the myth, and I won't go too much into it, and I'm going to read a little bit from this chapter of one of the saints of India. He was a very popular saint. He was known to, he's an example of somebody who chanted the Taraka Mantra and reached darshan of Sri Ramachandra, or the full name of Sri Rama. Chandra being the moon, right? Anyways, Om Shri Rama, Jaya Rama, Jaya Jaya Rama. I would spell it, but I'm just going to spell it in the title description, as that might get a little old for people. I mean, this is a very popular and common mantra. The saint that I am referring to today is Samartha Ramadas, or Samartha Ramadas. That's the best that I can do. Sadguru Samartha Ramadas. Okay, I'll show you his picture, or a stylized version of. He was buff, man. Talk about this is not the traditional vision of the yogi. He was fit. He was fit. He was thought to be an incarnation of Lord Hanuman, and Hanuman, of course, as anyone will easily find out, is the most devoted of all servants of Ram, who is an incarnation of Shiva, the wind god, and Anjaneya, a beautiful Vanara woman. Vanaras were the supposed race of monkey men, although there are other theories that say the actual historical version of these Vanaras, or monkey men, were strong-bodied men that had monkey banners. So historically they were just men. But you know, who knows? I mean, sometimes I wonder about this. Was this mythology or was it history? And supposedly in I think it was Treta Yuga, which is one of the yugas, the ages, is when the Ramayana was, the actual story of the Ramayana took place, and that's the story of Hanuman serving Ram, Ram losing Sita to Ravana, blah, 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 blah. So that was supposedly over 1 million years ago, right? So if this actually happened 1 million years ago, perhaps it really was like that. It's hard to say for sure. Over time, truth gets clouded and lost. So whatever did really happen, I guess we may never know, unless it happens again. So again, I like the buff yogis, you know, because I'm really, I don't think neglecting the physical body, there's anything spiritual about that. I mean, do what you want. But I think that that's a wonderful thing. So, not really sure what he did, if he was doing a bunch of working out or if he was just gifted. But it's really interesting because none of the saints of these different traditions have that. The name Samartha Ramadas is unforgettable in the annals of Indian history. Ramadas was considered to be a manifestation of Maruti, i.e., Lord Hanuman. He came at a time when India was suffering under the rule of Muslim kings and was a king himself in the spiritual realm. He sustained dharma, righteousness, and wandered through the country like a hurricane bearing the torch of knowledge. He revived the bhakti cult and preached the gospel of devotion through the mantra Shri Rama Jaya Jaya Rama. By chanting this mantra 130 million times, he had the darshan of Sri Ramachandra. Ramadas was born in Jamba, a village near the Godavari River. I did not say that right, but close enough. His blessed parents, Suryaji, Tasur, and Ranu Bai, named him Naroba. At the age of 7, he lost his father. The inevitable fact of death had a tremendous effect on his mind, and the life of renunciation captured his imagination. At the age of 8, he ran into a chapel of Hanuman where he sat in deep meditation, and as his songs declare, he had the vision of Hanuman first and Sri Rama next. In one of his songs, he says, Hanuman helped me realize Rama. Rama became my chosen deity, and I became his servant. My faith in Rama is adamant. Even if the sky were to fall on my head, I would not move from my resolve of praying only to Rama. Now, this is a really interesting point that we get to some of these older traditions, is picking one deity or one god and really sticking to it. Because in the Hindu religion, if you're familiar with it at all, there are, at the very least, hundreds of different variations of god and goddess, right? Both the male and the female counterpart. So the real underlying philosophy, when you study more, and seems to be true, is that all of these different manifestations of God and Goddess are actually one. Okay. It's a tough concept to understand. It really is. It really requires direct experience. You must experience it in a meditation or a state of trance, a state of prayer, over and over time. You must experience that yourself to really understand. I'd say that I don't fully understand it, but a little bit. I understand a little bit. And that's only the result of what I'm talking about. This is this years and years and years of practice where I don't know. I just don't know how to put it into words. But there is a definite truth and reality to it. More real than anything that I've can touch with my hands. Anyways, so all of the saints in this book are primarily worshippers of Vishnu. So Rama obviously was an incarnation of Vishnu, or thought to be an incarnation of Vishnu, over 1 million years ago, or whatever the actual time scale is, and did all sorts of glorious deeds. You know, he comes to earth and restores Dharma, destroys the wicked, blesses the good. He does this from age to age to preserve Dharma, to preserve the flow of creation. Whenever the Rishi's Leela is threatened and mankind dips to a really low level of behavior, then the Lord incarnates and sets things right. Now, the next incarnation that supposedly hasn't not come is the Kalki Avatara, which I'm sure many have read about. Also, the I don't know if it's akin to the second coming of Jesus, and the other prophecies, which isn't really the Bible, but would more be Nostradamus or other sources. The coming of the third Antichrist, which is not the God form, but that's something that ushers in the wiping out and the restoration, rebirth. So there are 3 possibilities that have spoken about, and I believe there's probably others from the Quran and other texts, but they all speak of the same sort of thing, where this one hasn't come yet, supposedly. So where we're living now, there's an undetermined date where this avatar or this God being will come down and basically set things right, because humans, we don't seem to be able to do it by ourselves. And during this time when there's a lot of different troubles in the world, and pandemics and viruses and suspicious governments, the way that they're leading the people in this world, saying that we're free and not letting us be free, hoarding wealth, hoarding opportunity, not distributing it evenly. At least that's what it appears to look like. And so, yeah, I don't know. I mean, there's hope. There's always hope. I think people can be good in an instant or be evil in an instant. I don't think there's any real permanency here. So, to get back sort of to this particular saint was interesting. Also because there are very few who are listed in here who specifically chose the Taraka Mantra. And I was walking in the park today practicing it, sitting on a bench as well, saying it internally. Sometimes I say it out loud, but you know, I live in a Christian dominant area, and people just won't understand, so I don't want to push things on anyone. But at the same time, I'm going to do what I'm going to do. It's more about your attitude and your peacefulness, and people get so worked up about which God you're praying to, as if it really matters. Anyways, the Taraka Mantra, the mantra that takes us across samsara, or the ocean of rebirth, the ocean of suffering, dukkha, all of that stuff. There's more that I'd like to elaborate on this, but I want to keep this video relatively short. We can always create new segments later. So mantra, mantra, mantra. Om Shri Rama Jaya Rama Jaya Jaya Rama. Om Shri Rama Jaya Rama Jaya Jaya Rama. Om Shri Rama Jaya Rama Jaya Jaya Rama. Slowly for those who are learning. Om Shri Rama Jaya Rama Jaya Jaya Rama. Om Shri Rama. Jaya Rama. Jaya Jaya Rama. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Peace, peace, peace. Peace to God, peace to man, woman, peace to the earth, peace to the heavens, peace to the earth, peace to the lower realms, peace above, peace below, peace all around. May peace and love flow in and out of all of our hearts continuously without interruption. May we never fall from grace. May we never lose the Lord. May we never forget the Divine Mother. May we have enough to eat. May we be free from suffering and the causes of suffering. May we be at peace with the world and peace with ourselves and peace with our neighbors. May Prem and Shanti, may love and peace fill us all of the days of our lives until we are no more. For there is nothing that we can take with us when we leave this world. No trinkets, no gadgets, no wealth, no fame, not even our name can go with us. Only the soul is indestructible. And we can always create new names and new forms. So why are we so attached to this one? With that, I leave you. Have a blessed day. Namaste.